My name is Erica Gilliam, and I am the artist here at the Sleepy Pine Studio. Today, I thought I would try something a little bit different and just have a cup of coffee with you guys. I wish I could say that I came up with the idea, but you can thank my brother for the idea. We were having coffee the other day, and he's like, "This is what you need to do. Just sit and have coffee with the camera." I was like, okay, sure. So I'm sitting and having coffee with my camera. No, I'm having coffee with you guys. This is the closest I can do, right? I'm excited. I thought that the first video that I do like this would just be an update. I guess it's more about the lessons I've learned so far and the realities of being a full-time artist. Over the last couple months, I've really kind of run into them, feeling like I didn't have motivation, feeling like I wasn't sure what to do next, not really doing much of anything, pressuring myself, feeling like nothing was working, being really discouraged. I have notes right here on my computer so that I can look at them. But when I have notes or something like that, I get distracted by the things around me. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I'm fidgety. So when I talk, I'll find myself fidgeting with, my common one is this eraser. I have this squishy eraser, kneaded eraser. And I'll fidget with it all the time because I'm a fidgeter, but I'm not going to fidget while I'm talking to you guys. But I am going to drink my coffee. This last month and a half has been rough. I guess at this point it's been closer to 2 months. I just thought that I would take some time today to tell you a little bit about what's going on or what's been going on, some of the things that I learned, and how I'm planning on moving forward. Really quick, my camera only films 12 minutes at a time, so periodically I have to get up and stop it and restart it. So just so that you know, if I super change positions or whatever. I don't know if you care, but that's okay. Thank you for having a cup of coffee with me. This is exciting. One thing that's really hard as an online content creator is being yourself completely. It's really easy to have some kind of persona or feel like you need to be different than you are. I am a rambler. Part of that comes from lack of planning, but I think the other part of that is just me. I just talk a lot. I always have. And I give a lot of unnecessary information. So sometimes when I make videos or things like that, I always feel obligated to make it more interesting or edit the crap out of it. Or if I'm rambling too much, it's not a good video because I ramble too much. I've been afraid to make a video that's maybe 45 minutes long because I just could talk about that subject forever. But you know what? I'm going to talk about this subject as long as I need to talk about it. And that's just going to be what it is. I am just going to be me. Or try to. And this is me. Slightly awkward. And rambly. And I'm good with it. So, like I said, I have notes here to make sure that I at least kind of stay on subject. Some of the things I want to talk about. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen some of my more recent posts where I've been talking about some of the things I've been learning. I'm excited for this kind of platform because I can dive into things a little bit more than 2,500 characters, which is a lot of characters, but I will use them up. This is an opportunity to kind of elaborate on some of the things that I'm talking about there and give a little bit more information than I can share in a short post. Let's start with burnout because I was burnt out. It took me some time to realize why I was burnt out. Lately I've been, a lot's been going on. There's a pandemic. I am homeschooling again, which is great and challenging. Last year was our first year at school, and she didn't even get to finish it. And now we're back to actually homeschooling. We're not just doing like homebound learning. We're like, if we're home, I'm not going to have you get on Zoom calls all day. That's silly. So we're just homeschooling. And then I'm also running my own business. So it's a lot. I'm tired. I feel like I spent a lot of time trying to figure all this out, and I got burnt out. Also, this is my first year making art full time. And being able to make the shifts that come along with that in the midst of the weight of this year, it's been a lot. That's about it. Like, that's the only way to say it. It's a lot. So yeah, I was a little bit burnt out. Making art full time means that I have to do more paintings. I have to paint in a quantity I've never painted before. And not just painting, I just have to create as a whole in a quantity I've never created. That means that I need to be consistently creating new stuff. And I wasn't. And I wasn't sure why I wasn't. I just wasn't able to. And I knew that I needed to, but I couldn't get there. And so over the last month and a half, I've just really been in this cycle of being mad at myself for not being able to do that, and then simultaneously expecting this of myself, and then trying to give myself grace, and then being mad at myself because I still can't do it, and then expecting this, and it's a cycle, right? It was kind of frustrating. I have to balance all of these things that come with running my own business and manage my own self-care and take care of myself. So I started making some shifts. I got rid of all freelance work that was like random stuff. I was doing like some social media management, video editing, some logos and web design, just miscellaneous projects that people would hire me for. And I said, no more. I'm done. No more of those projects. I need to finish up what I have, and I just need to not look for more or accept more when they come to me. And that was great. That shift was amazing, but it created new rifts, right? Because all of a sudden I did have some kind of balance where I had freelance work and my art business. Now this was gone, and so all the weight is here on my art business. And that's what I wanted. That's what I was working towards. And yet here I am, and I'm unable to do it. Like, I'm not creating. I'm not putting out content. I'm just so frustrated. Why am I not able to create when I know this is what I wanted? This is what I was working towards. And this is me. Like, this is my business. I get to make up the rules, and yet I still can't do it. I would get really good ideas and have just no capacity to create them. It was frustrating. It was really frustrating. So I started paying attention to my needs. And through the course of several conversations and lots of self-evaluation, I started to discover places I was limiting myself. For instance, with video. Saying, I wanted every video to be this awesome, unique film-like video that just showed my process and was inspiring, and I didn't make them because it's a lot of work and I don't have time. And I didn't make them because it's exhausting. But instead, doing this, where I can shift, simplify, just be me. And if I want to add some B-roll over this, I might, but I might not too, and that's okay. I was limiting the way that I approached videos because I was expecting something from myself that was unrealistic. Another place that I was limiting myself was this idea of working in series. Feeling like everything had to fit into some series. So I'm working on the magical creatures, and then next I'll start working on the next series, and da 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 da. And that also went into how I released my products, because I would try to hold things and release them all at the same time. Why? I don't. I just got in my head that that's the right way to do it. That's how I needed to do it. Realizing that I was underselling myself, and I was undercutting my success because I was expecting it to fit into some certain shape that it wasn't. So I started to recognize these places. I'm limiting myself. Places that I was standing in my own way of success rather than it being something external. Most of my problems, most of the things that were going on were more internal. The way that I was doing something, the way that I was thinking, and figuring out how to move forward from that's a challenge. The other thing that really was contributing to the challenge is that my income is completely dependent on my creative process. And that is stressful. When I create, that thing I create can either make me money or not make me money. The pressure of that means that I can get caught up in trying to only make things that would have the highest potential to make me money, right? Because I need to pay my bills. I was getting caught up in not wanting to make something that wasn't going to bring me an income. What ended up happening is I just talked myself out of creating pretty much every single thing I wanted to make. All of these things were building on each other. I went from having a ton of motivation and just feeling really happy with this direction to completely questioning it as a whole. And then I had a conversation with my husband. It was super brief. I was doing some coding stuff, and the conversation led to, you should be an engineer. Not necessarily like quit art, just we were kind of joking around about things. And that idea was something that nobody had ever said to me before. I've always been very good at math and science, but I was also an artist, so I tended to lean more towards the creative stuff, and people tended to expect more from the creative stuff too. So it really made me start thinking about my skills, what was missing from my life versus what I'm currently using. And right now, all the weight is on art, right? Which is great, but tiring. Is there a place or a way that it can be more balanced, that the math and side of me, the math and science interest side of me also gets its turn in the spotlight? I don't know if that makes any sense. So all of these things are swirling around in my head over the last 2 months, and I've been trying to make sense of them. And it led me to this place of, should I quit? Maybe this isn't right for me. Maybe I just need to get a job so I can get paid and then be done with it. And make art on the side, not like leave the Sleepy Pine forever, but like make art on the side. And as I'm thinking through this and I'm progressing through these what ifs that exist, I started to realize, no, that's not right. That's not what I want. I don't want a normal, just to go get a job somewhere that would just pay me hourly. That isn't what I'm looking for. That doesn't solve anything at all. And instead, I need to shift what I have. So I started working through what the shifts mean for me. I've still used the same process for coming up with and creating paintings as when art was my hobby. In the past, I would get inspired and then I'd get inspired for a painting and then I would make said painting, put everything into it. It would be kind of exhausting because I just like go all in and I'd finish it and I'd be really proud, and then I would wait and chill until the next idea came to me. I need to shift my process from waiting for inspiration to showing up, creating. One thing that impacts that is this idea of choice. When I have too many options, I don't create. I don't choose anything because it's almost like paralysis of choice. I feel like I've dealt with this all my life, of feeling like the world is my oyster. I could choose anything, but what if I choose the wrong thing, right? Same with paintings. Same with this process of trying to create. I would make a list of things to create and I would sit down to create them and go, oh, that doesn't sound interesting. Or I'd sit down and be like, okay, what do I want to paint off the list? And I'd be like, well, nothing. Or, well, I could paint that, but then this and da-da-da-da, and talk myself out of it. And then I don't create at all. I have to shift away from that process. And that means removing choice from the equation. Not entirely, but mostly. For instance, what I'm working on right now, and I'm going to try over the next couple months, is having a list of paintings and products and whatever I want to create, and starting at the top, and it's in order of by things like need. I have to get this one done, time frame, all those things. And I start at the top and just start working through the list. So when I show up, I know I'm working on the top thing on that list. And I might get part of the way through it, and then the next day I keep working on it. Or I might get through 2 or 3 things, depending on their complexity. So there's no showing up and being like, well, what do I want to create today? I already know what I have to create today. With that also comes the choice element. If I show up one day and I'm like, well, I don't have anything that's time sensitive, and I see this item 3 down that looks really interesting to me, I want to do that one today, then I'll do that. Like, there's no reason. If it's time sensitive, obviously I can't do that. But allowing some choice within the equation, but knowing no matter what, I have something that day I'm going to work on, and it's thought out. I know that I want to do this piece. I know that this is the process I want to go on. I think that will make a big difference for me. Instead of expecting myself to constantly come up with things, I am now in turn more, I already know. I don't have to choose that thing. The other thing is going to be assigning certain things days, like I film on this day and I go live on this day, or, whatever. I haven't established all of them, but that's another thing I would like to do, is give certain tasks days so that I know on that day that's a big thing that I will be working on. Another shift I'm making is removing unnecessary stress from my life. I don't handle stress well. I've known this for a long time. For me, stress is an unnecessary emotional struggle. When I'm stressed, it manifests physically on my body through physical pain, exhaustion, tics. I actually have myoclonic tics, things like that can all be influenced by stress. So removing things from my life that stress me out is a huge thing. Sometimes that's saying no to projects that, yes, maybe it would have been a cool project, but it's going to stress me out. Or saying no to freelance work. It's removing situations in my life that maybe I just don't have the capacity to hold on. The next shift that I'm making moving forward is taking away the pressure to create certain things based on what I think will sell, what seasons are coming up, whatever. All year, I've wanted to work on certain series that I've kept myself from doing because of one reason or another. I would like to paint the female form, specifically nudity. I would like to explore more fantasy art. I would like to explore other mediums than just watercolor. All of those are things that I've been saying, I'll do that when. Well, I'll do that when I have more time next year. Or I'll do that when I have more money, which is a kind of valid one. But I'll do that when I'm a little bit more financially stable. Or I'll do that when I'm finished with this project, which is unrealistic because then I start something else. Instead, I need to start doing things now. Mixing them in. Seasons are a big stressor for me. Creating seasonal stuff. I love seasons. Like, I love autumn. Autumn is my favorite season. That's autumn right now. I love it. It makes me so happy and brings me so much joy, but I don't actually super care about painting it. That's just me. Like, I don't know why, but I don't want to paint autumn leaves and things like that. That just doesn't interest me right now. I've been holding this stress that I'm not doing autumn-y things. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's fine, Erica. Erica, you're fine. Just chill out. It's all about letting myself create the things that I want to create. Letting myself make what I'm inspired to make and not limiting myself. Not limiting myself to creating in a series or creating something specific or making something because I think it's going to be profitable or whatever. Obviously, I want to make sure I create things that you guys like. If, certain kinds of stickers, I know you guys love my journal stickers. I want to be able to make more of those. And so finding the balance of maybe separating myself from seasons a little, that's one I'm doing a lot. Thinking that because it's October, I have to do it like October themed. I could do October literally any month, anything I want. The other thing is being okay with everything not being super different. I really like space. I'm going to paint a lot of outer space. I already do, but you guys don't know how much I stop myself from painting outer space. Like how much I'm like, well, I've already painted a bunch of that stuff, so I'm going to do less. Why? No. I want to make it, so I'm going to make it. This is where I'm shifting to. Along with this comes educating myself. And this kind of brings back what I was saying about math and science being a big interest of mine growing up and even now, something I'm very good at, something that makes a lot of sense to me. And looking at my life and seeing this lack of balance that I've been experiencing over the course of the past several years, where I'm trying to fill this hole, this void of the math and sciences, STEM. I've been filling that void with other things. Learning coding, getting obsessed with some of the business side of running a business rather than executing this stuff that I'm learning. One of the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward is pursuing education. Some of it will be self-taught. Some of it might not be. I'm looking at the possibility of going back to school and finishing my degree. I currently have an associate's degree in art, finished 10 years ago. I never saw a value in going back, but it's something I'm considering to study physics and engineering or something like that. What would that mean? I don't know. I don't know what I would want to do with that. I'm very interested in space, so that's kind of where I'm interested in pursuing some kind of maybe future in. One of the things that I'm really excited about with this whole pursuing education and starting to learn more about the things that I'm interested in is the impact it's going to have on my artwork. The things that I kind of understand now or have a very basic idea of, learning more about it, being more educated on that, being able to understand certain things more, reading books and learning mythology and studying sacred geometry, things like that I'm interested in, I'm going to learn more about. Some in a more formal place and some in a less formal place. I want to build a life of learning, and that is going to also impact my artwork and where my business goes. I want to be able to fully be myself, whatever capacity that means. And right now I'm in the I don't really know what's out there phase of that. I feel like all of a sudden there's this whole side of me that I have kind of boxed off for a really long time. And now I'm giving myself permission to be. I have tried for a long time to be right, to do things correctly, to run my business the right way, to make the things that would sell and are right so I don't have to defend my actions. Anyways, you get the point. I've been trying to fit myself into different molds that I feel I need to fit within. And the reality of this and this entire shift and the whole point of this whole video is basically me going, I'm done. I'm done trying to be this version of myself I think I have to be. I am done trying to please every single person. I am done trying to fit myself in a box I don't fit in. I am done letting fear guide me. I am done only using part of my skills and ignoring parts of who I am. So instead, I'm going to embrace it all. I'm going to embrace who I am. I'm going to embrace the fact that this is my business. I can do whatever the hell I want with it. And I'm going to embrace the fact that I might do things a little bit differently. I might not follow the seasons. I might want to create something autumny in March, and that's okay. I might do journal stuff for 3 months straight and then not again for 6 months because I just don't want to look at it. That's all okay. And I want to be the best me I can be. And this is a part of it. So to finish up this exceptionally long video, I think I want to make these a regular thing. I'm aiming for once a week. It will depend on how long this takes to edit. Probably not too long. I'm going to try to be semi-light-handed on the editing. But I want to do these and talk more about some of these subjects. There are a lot of things that I care a lot about, and I want to share them. I want to share with you the new work I'm doing. I want to share with you what I've learned about limiting beliefs and the things I've learned about building my business. I want to share with you the personal development growth, the stuff I learned about outer space or mythology. I don't know what these are going to be. These are going to be a weekly coffee date with me that may or may not come out on the same day of the week. I'm not making promises, but I am going to try to make them weekly because they're pretty simple. And I just want to be. Simplify and be. So, as I move forward and as you move forward, I hope that my journey can be a little bit helpful to you. And I am trying to be as real and authentic and honest as I can in the midst of figuring it out myself. Things might change too, and that is one thing I want to be very clear on. This is where I'm at today, right now. That might change. You know, who knows what the next 6 months are going to bring? Who knows what the next 6 years are going to bring? Things might change. I am not boxing myself into anything. And that is my goal, to just let me be. So, I hope that this was fun for you. I enjoyed it. My coffee is now cold because I was just talking the whole time, but that's okay. I'm going to go microwave it and keep drinking it. And yeah, I will see you again soon. Bye.